Since the pandemic started, the concerns about disease transmissions and continued lockdown increased the demand for disposable food packaging and containers. South Korea experienced a 15.6% increase in plastic waste compared to the previous year. Many other countries experienced this issue as well. In the United States, some states reversed the ban on plastic bag use due to COVID-19. But we cannot keep increasing the waste like we have no future to worry about. Reusable items turned out to be safe, and they pose no additional risks in disease transmission. That is why the zero waste approaches are practical and much needed for us right now. In this video, I introduce a new zero waste practice called 용기내 challenge, where you bring your own containers to restaurants for food takeouts. Yonggi means courage and container in Korean, so the name implies that the people participating in this challenge have taken a courageous effort in taking the food out with reusable containers. So here we go. I have compiled all the ways I've created from food takeouts and deliveries over the last week. Last week I ordered food 4 times and got a takeout once. So here are all the ways that I've created. As you can see, the little plastic containers were created the most, and they were used for sauces and side dishes. Depending on the type of food you ordered, you might be creating more waste because it needs more containers for sauces and side dishes. The main waste you're probably creating from takeouts and deliveries is definitely plastic containers. The problem with those is that even if they are recyclables, all the food waste attached and absorbed make the containers greasy and sometimes stained like this. It's greasy. These plastics are not easy to recycle, and they end up in the incinerators or landfills instead of getting recycled. Even if they were cleaned properly, overload of waste at recycling plants due to COVID-19 led to less efficient selection processes for recycling, leading to waste of clean and recyclable items that could be recycled. Next, plastic and paper bags are used frequently for deliveries and takeouts. This is actually an underestimation of the waste created last week, because there were, of course, food waste and other small waste that I couldn't completely compile here.
그러니까 여기에 담는 건 안 찍어도 되는데 이렇게 제가 드리고 담는 것만 찍어줘요.
네, 여기 소스 담고 여기.
괜찮아요.
소스 중간에 부어가지고 소스 다 드시면 똑바로 해야지 안 떨어지게.
Next, when I went to another restaurant, there were some self-service side dishes, appetizers, or banchans in Korean, so I took some in my containers. I thought this was great because I could avoid creating food waste by taking the right amount that I wanted. I did not know that there would be sauces and soup along with the food, so I failed in making zero waste this day, but I learned from my mistake. So I got green tea latte in this reusable coffee mug, but I couldn't say no to a plastic straw. So I promised to myself that I would avoid getting a straw next time. Other than that, I feel like getting drinks is much easier than getting food in the containers because it's much simpler and it's a common practice already for many people. I got salad again from the same place, and they actually took a picture of this before giving it to me this time and posted the picture on their Instagram saying that they welcome customers bringing their own reusable containers. I thought that this was a very meaningful outcome and a meaningful interaction with the restaurant, although it might be a small one. This day I went to Baskin-Robbins to get ice cream instead of going to local restaurants. After my first zero waste experiences, I felt that this practice was very easy even for introverts like me. Luckily, all the restaurants I visited had no problems with the reusable container use. I think it is definitely worth the time and effort for contributing to reduction in waste generation for our planet. One of the limitations is that I could not try taking out a variety of food due to time constraints for this project. I also wanted to point out that since reusable containers cost more energy to produce, they need to be used multiple times to make sure we're not emitting more carbon or consuming more energy than we were before. For example, ceramic coffee mugs need to be used 39 times to break even with a disposable cup and 1,000 times to completely neglect the energy consumption. But that's only in terms of energy consumption, and waste generation is telling us a different story. So zero waste may not be the perfect solution for all the environmental problems we're facing, but it is a solution and it should be a sustainable practice instead of a one-time thing to make real impacts. For beginners, you could start with using the containers at home that you don't use instead of buying the new ones. Also, I thought that showing collective individual efforts should lead to bigger impacts in the food systems and policy making. One idea I have is that it would be nice to have the option of reusable container use on kiosks or delivery apps for pickups to make the whole process convenient. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you guys try this out yourself now.